went down to Dunedin from Gisborne, and I do remember that we left Gisborne, and on the train, Celia Reid, who also trained, and myself, and we got on the ferry in Wellington. A person from Gisborne was the purser on the ferry, and in those days the ferries went from Wellington to Christchurch overnight. Well, we'd partied before we left Gisborne, so we slept all the way on the train, and when we got on the ferry, there was this lad whose name escapes me, but we partied all night on the ferry as well and slept all the way to Dunedin. I've never been to the South Island before, and I remember feeling absolutely picked up and dropped at random. I didn't have any sense of arriving. I think now we'd call it jet lag, but I had no sense of arriving there. I found myself in this strange place. But Dunedin was wonderful. We started off at the school. I remember things like going to the bod room. Oh yes, we went into the bod room, and there were all these naked bodies lying on the plinths in the bod room, all sort of brown colour, and all with their heads wrapped up in wet towels. And somebody had told us, one of the girls from the previous class, the year older, whatever you do tonight, because Celia and I were just flatting together at that stage, don't have meat for tea tonight. Nobody will want to eat meat. So I was cooking. I didn't buy meat. I bought sausages. That was the worst possible thing to put on the table that night after looking at all these brown and nude bodies. So that was one thing I remember about the bod room. But at the school, we met each day. We had to go up the stairs in the physio school in Cumberland Street, I think it was, and Miss Scotts would meet to sit at the top of the stairs and tick off everybody's name on a roll, or Miss Hislop, somebody, and I'm sure it was one of their ways of not only checking we'd arrived, but also getting to know who we were. I remember I was a very, very new student. Probably I would be in our first 3 or 4 weeks, and the stairs in that building came down quite steeply. And I was just about to come from the first floor down to the ground floor one day, and I stepped around the top of the top step, and there was Miss Scotts with a group of men, about 4 or 5 of them, all in suits, and I suspect they were probably something like the hospital board members. I don't know. But in my timidity of being a very new student, I stepped back to give them the entire flight of stairs, all to themselves, missed my footing, and went all the way to their feet. I remember that as one of my most embarrassing moments in my whole life. And after that, Miss Scotts always knew who I was, which added insult to injury.